Hi, this is Vicki from Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome back to our holiday learning session. We hope you had a fun first week of learning and exploring the various Christmas-themed activities. This week, we are going to make a wreath, play with some gingerbread Play-Doh, make a gift, and some wrapping paper. Should be fun. Well, Advent wreaths were used as early as the 1500s, and they used to have a candle, one for each Sunday before Christmas. But now they're used to celebrate harvest and other holidays and used to celebrate or honor special days. I've even seen wreaths welcoming new babies. In your box, you're going to find a paper plate. You're going to want to cut the center from the paper plate so that you have a round, empty circle in the beginning. We have also included two green toilet paper rolls to actually decorate the plate itself. You want to cut these toilet paper rolls into like 1-inch slices, and then you want to glue the slices green side up onto your paper plate, going around the plate until it's actually full of these little slices. Now, we've included some pom poms in case you need a little more decoration, and there's some string in there so you can hang it from your door. Or you can do, as we saw in the previous thing, it can surround a candle. Well, this is activity number 6, and we've included gingerbread Play-Doh kit in your box. When you open it up, oh my gosh, it smells just like gingerbread. And this Play-Doh can actually be used to make an ornament or just make Play-Doh play, whatever you like. You're going to need some ingredients from your house, 2 tablespoons of oil and a cup of water. I think this Play-Doh is best cooked as it kind of warms up the spices and you get the best smell from the Play-Doh because those hot spices then get incorporated into the dough. So um, what you want to do is in a pan, you want to put all of the dry ingredients. Make sure to take the cutter out. Mine fell in. And then you want to mix the oil and water and stir. I would add the water a little bit at a time until it all comes together and you get the spatter form. And then I normally cook it on a low medium heat until the dough becomes thick and forms, actually comes into kind of a ball. And then you want to take that warm, hot dough onto parchment paper and or a cutting board, and then knead it until it becomes smooth. Um, it cools pretty quickly, but I think it's really fun to work with when it's warm, but safe warm. And the child can roll out the dough and then cut their ornaments. We hope you enjoy this really great smelling treat. And if you want to make ornaments using the Play-Doh, you just cut them out like normal and then use a straw to make a hole in the ornament on the top so that you can put a string through it later. And then you can put them on a cookie sheet and cook at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour and a half. And once they're cooled, you can add the string and put it up on your tree. If you don't have an oven, I find just air drying them for a couple days, they'll dry out hard enough to be able to be put on the tree. This is activity number 7. After seeing all the pictures that you've shared with us, either posting on class tag or texting us, we thought it might be nice if your child wanted to make a present for you to hold those lovely images in. So we chose a paper picture frame, well, actually over wood. When we tried to do decorate the wood ones, it seemed it wasn't easy to work with the wood when you were little, especially if you were using crayons. So we chose the paper over the wood so you can draw, write, paint, glue on these pretty easily. Um, We obviously you can do whatever you like. There's with the ornaments that you've had, you have the glitter glue, which is really lovely. There's stickers. You can decorate. We can't actually wait to see what kind of a picture frame they actually make for you to display the images that they've done. By the way, Walgreens or CVS, you can upload an image right there in the store, and for about 25 cents, print one that goes into this 4 by 6 frame. And I'm sure the lucky recipient of this picture frame will not only adore the picture, but the decorations put in place by the child. This is activity number 8, and we're going to make wrapping paper. We've included this big piece of um, newsprint that um, I think is lovely. But you can make wrapping paper, and we used to do this out of grocery bags. I cut the bags down and laid them flat, and then we would print on them. But you could use the newsprint too, and we provided those pieces, certainly long enough to wrap any of the presents that the child's going to make during this session in there. The child can actually change it from, whatever the plain paper into fabulous homemade creations. You can print by cutting a sponge to any shape and then dipping it into paint. Or you can just color on the page, or you can use cookie cutters and dip them into paint, or use bubble wrap and make repeating patterns or one big pattern. If you're going to use bubble wrap, you can paint on the bubble wrap directly and then push it onto the paper like they're doing when you push and make a book. But there are lovely options to do wrapping, and I'm sure your child will really enjoy making that. Well, that's all for this week. Next week, we'll look at new activities. Hope you have a good time with these.